Welcome back everybody to another Code Peterson tutorial. We're continuing along with our arcade vertical scrolling airplane style shoot 'em up type game for the original Game Boy. Last episode we were working on some sprites. We created an airplane that we control. We completed an airplane that the enemy is going to be controlling, and then some bullets and some animation and those kind of things. My next episode was going to be about tile maps, and I think that's actually going to be my one after this one. This one's going to be a bit shorter. Think of this one as episode 1.5. Started thinking about the sprites we created last time, and if I go in here to Piskel where we were working on these before, and I go to import and browse Piskel files. So we created some of those sprites last time, and one of them was our hero plane. I'm going to bring this hero plane in here, and I'm going to replace. It asks how you want to import it, combine with your sprite or replace. I'm just going to go replace because I don't have anything else in there. I'll go to the right layer on here, layer 2, and this was the airplane we created. And in some game engines, you can actually rotate your sprites like in the engine. You can rotate it 90 and do all that. And then I got to thinking, I don't think you can do that with GB Studio. And we want this to be a vertical scrolling game. So it gives us the ability to flip left and right. You can do that, but you cannot rotate your sprite in GB Studio. So what I'll do for this one is show you the process of fixing that in Piskel in case you ever want to work on this later. And then we should be good to go. All right, so in here in the hero plane, I just select my airplane right here. And then I go over here to transform. And then I just press that once and it's going to rotate it. Now, if you have multiple layers, you'll need to rotate each of your layers to do that. But since our bottom layer is just this transparent fluorescent green, we don't have to worry about it on this one. And I'll go here, rotate this 190, then I'm going to rotate this 190. On this particular graphic, I don't think I'm going to need these explosions since I have the explosion tied to the bullet sprite that we created before. So on here, I am going to erase these out just to save some room. Now, if I was making an airplane that was not vertical scrolling and I wanted it to go left, right, up and down, and I wanted it to change directions, then what I would do is I would duplicate these, and then I would have this airplane facing up, and I would have the airplane facing right, and then I could make the airplane facing down. It can switch left and right in there, so I wouldn't have to worry about it making it facing left. But that's just kind of some planning that we have to do that I wasn't really thinking about the last time when we made this, but it is a relatively easy fix. So there is that, and then I can go here, I'll go to save, and I might call this hero plane up just to make it named something different in case I want to go back to that other sprite sometime. And then I can export this. Remember, we need to change our columns to 3. I think the maximum amount of columns we want with an animation, if we do this, I think with GB Studio is 10. And then you can go down from there. But this is just a short animation. And then we will click download. And it is downloading that and done. Okay, so that was the first one we did. Then I want to go back in here to import, browse Piskel files, and we have enemy plane. And I'm going to replace and OK. And then this one, the same story. I already have the explosion removed off of this one. So all I need to do is I don't have to worry about deleting those frames. I can go over here. And then this plane I'm going to have flipped facing down because we're going to be flying up. And this particular enemy plane is going to be flying down. Okay. And then again, if you have multiple layers that have different things on them, then you'll need to rotate those particular layers also. Okay, so now I'll go here to save, and I will call this one enemy plane down. Save it as a Piskel. Then I'll go here to export and download. I will go here to my downloads folder, and I have hero plane up, and then I'm gonna just rename this little file here for enemy plane down. I like to have it all one word, and then each new word is capitalized. It's a little better. All right, select that and copy. And then out here, I have this folder where I'm calling it Vert Shooter Arcade. And I can paste these new ones in here, and then I can actually erase I don't need out of there. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's a few other sprites that we've had since last time. I did go in and just create a few others. You can feel free to do this also. I did put an enemy bomber in here so you can see what these look like. This one is facing the right because I want this plane to be moving to the right and to the left in GB Studio. So it's going to be coming across the screen and just give us something with a little bit different motion. This is going to be moving left, and if you remember what I said before, I don't have to worry about making a left-facing sprite because in GB Studio, you can flip the direction for objects or for shapes moving left. I just have to make it facing right. So that's the bomber that I created. I also made a boat with kind of a gun right here. So this boat is going to be stationary in the water. So where planes will be moving down a little bit faster, and maybe those will only take 1 or 2 bullets to take down. Maybe a boat that's stationary, so it's not going to be moving as fast off of the screen. It might take like 3 to 5 shots to take down, and then when you're in front of it, maybe that's going to be shooting at us. And then something similar for the boat, but for the land areas, I thought a tank that does similar things. So again, this is going to take more firepower to bring it down. It's going to be stationary. It's not going to be moving. So these are just one frame long, just a simple thing that I can kind of put on the map. And then I do also have, let me see if I can open this up. There we go. Now this helicopter is going to be moving in all sorts of directions. And as you notice here, this helicopter has 2 layers. So if I was going to rotate this, I would have to rotate layer 1, which has my helicopter, and layer 2, which has the propeller on there. But this is going to move in all directions, but I want it always facing down while it's moving. So I am just having it facing down for that, but it's actually going to be something that's going to have some kind of moving pattern where it kind of gives that effect like it's hovering on there. That should give you some more things to play with when we start putting this game together. And then I promise the very next, and it won't take as long to make that video, but the very next video, we'll be doing our tile maps where we start making our tiles and then our map for our first level for our game. Hope you enjoyed this episode 1.5, and I sure hope we catch y'all in the next one, and I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.